Hey, it's Nate from Navigator Bookkeeping. Wanting to talk about the question, where is your emergency savings saved? Now, first of all, make sure you have emergency savings set aside, and that's a whole nother video. We have some other videos about that, so go check out our YouTube channel if you're curious about that. But let's talk about the 5 places you could have your emergency savings saved, and which of those are probably the best options. So number one, and this is where most people have theirs, is just in their normal checking account. If you bank with a large provider like Chase or someone like that, you're probably getting no interest or 0.001% interest, basically no interest. This is where most people put their savings because it's convenient. But here's the thing, you're not getting any return on that. It's just sitting there making you no money. So not a great option. Let's look at number 2. I call this the slight savings account. This is a savings account with your bank, maybe gets 0.05 interest, or you're getting basically a couple dollars per month. Not much better than option number 1, still convenient. It's set aside in a separate account, which is good to make it obviously different from your operating account, but you're still not making any money on that. It's just sitting there ready to go. So also not a great option. Let's talk about number 3, the high yield savings account. Now this is a good option. High yield these days is more like low yield or medium yield. You're usually going to get 0.25 or 0.5%, but here you're at least getting some noticeable interest every month. You're going to be getting probably hundreds of dollars in interest per year, or if you have a high account balance, thousands of dollars in interest per year potentially. But this is a good option. It's convenient. You're getting some actual interest. And one suggestion I have is check out QuickBooks Cash. If you've not checked that out already, they're offering 1% interest. So if you're using QuickBooks, 1% interest is insane. Very hard to get that in a savings account. And it's pretty easy to use. But yeah, all online, like most of these high yield accounts. So that's a good option. I'd say that's a very good option, probably our best option, especially if you are a little more careful with your money, if you don't want to be very risky with it. Since this is an emergency savings fund, that makes sense. Option number 4, a CD or a money market account. Now, this is probably actually one of my least favorite options because you can't get the money out without incurring a penalty. CDs and money market accounts really are not getting that much better percentages of interest compared to high yield savings accounts. I mean, you're maybe going to get 2 or 3%, but that money has to stay in that account for usually a couple of years. And if you take the money out early, you lose some of that interest. Now, you'll probably still come out ahead depending on when you take it out. But I don't like the non-liquid factor of that. If you have an emergency or if you're trying to make a big purchase, you want to be able to take that out of your emergency fund very quickly, not have to worry about a penalty. So that's option number 4. Now, option number 5 should be treated with caution, but it can be a really good option. This is investing part of your emergency fund. Now, I would never tell you to invest all of your emergency fund for your business because if times get tough, you don't want to have to worry about the stock market being also down at that time, which it likely would be, and then seeing your emergency fund really be depleted quickly. But this is a great option, especially for business owners who have a larger emergency fund or have just some extra cash sitting around in the business that's just kind of sitting there getting a small amount of interest. What you can do is you can invest it. Now, you probably want to invest it in something that's relatively stable, like an index fund that's maybe tracking the whole market or tracking the S&P 500, or maybe even some bonds. You probably don't want to invest it in, Bitcoin, Dogecoin, anything like that. I mean, those are great investments. They have their place, but emergency fund is not that place. But this can be a really nice way to make some extra money, to beat inflation on your emergency savings, and make some extra money on the side as well for your business. So once again, I would not put your whole emergency fund in there, but if you're doing well, have a good emergency fund saved up, definitely put part of it there. If you're having a great year and your operating account just keeps increasing and getting larger, and you don't want a huge chunk of change just sitting in a regular checking account, invest some of it, take it out of the business, and then you can put it back in whenever you need it. So that's a great option. So option number 5, really awesome. It can make you some good side money, diversify the business a little bit. Just be cautious with it, be smart. So those are your 5 options. All are better than no emergency savings. So set up that emergency savings first, and then you get to choose one of these 5 options. Would love to hear what your favorite option is. Leave a comment below.